Good evening and welcome to the round 7 game of DYS League. Today we are watching Jichael's Academy come up against Dis Unknown. It's quite an important game. The winner of this game will get the 4th seeded position for the playoffs. As you may know, last week we did say that was the end of the regular season streams, but there has been so much of an outcry from the community asking for this game to be streamed that we have decided, you know what, let's get ourselves together. One more hurrah for the regular season. As you can see, I'm joined today by Keo. How are you doing, man?
Hi, DB. It's good to be back. I'm going to preface everyone. I am ill currently. I'm still recovering from quite a bad cold. So I'm going to push myself for today, but I couldn't miss it. How could I miss an opportunity to commentate the final game of the playoffs whenever it's Unknown, who I believe I have covered before, with Jichael's Academy, a absolutely goated team who I'm very, very excited to watch today. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good series. It is probably, I know that we're going to have like our top bracket and everything, our top 4, but this is probably going to be the most important game, I'd say, until probably grand finals.
Well, it's the first knockout game. So yeah, we're seeing the standings here. Budget approved. They've still got a game left to play, but they've map differential is so good. Even if they get 3-0, they will still keep that top seeding position. Bliss Marauders have got themselves to 2nd seed. EMC Chimera confirmed as the 3rd seed. But this is I suppose depending on how this game goes, actually that 3rd and 4th seed might change. But
yeah,
the last spot between Unknown and Jichael, this is the essential first knockout game. So GCS Owls and VA Unity, sadly, they are out of the tournament. They've both still got some games left to play, but they they are no longer able to get back into the top 4.
Commiserations to our fallen soldiers as we may salute to them, but the show must go on, and as we are going to see, the circus in town is these two teams, although there's no clowns involved. They are pretty high caliber teams, so I'm kind of expecting this matchup to be, again, I will say this, and for the 3rd time, for the 3rd series, pretty explosive, and I hope not just a 3-game set, because I've promised people more, and it's weirdly been a sweep most of the time, but I do expect this to go the full way, because both teams have such a, there's multiple, top 50 players in both teams, basically. So, I don't know. It's going to be pretty...
It's a clash of titans. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And almost the fact that it's the game for the 4th seed is underselling how good these teams are. But, yeah, it's a very, very important game. Now, let's have a look at our rosters. These teams aren't new to you viewers. You already know who we're going to be seeing playing today. But first up, we've got Jichael's Academy. So Ivster, Ichtha, Ham, Viteful, Alpha, Sonnet, Miralap. They have recently also signed Chappers, a new signing for them today, ready to come in. So and he's actually joining the starting lineup.
Yeah, weirdly enough, I recognize a few names. Obviously, I've come to learn, I think, a little more about the team through TikTok videos that they've posted, which have all been very good and about the behind the scenes that has happened into playing their matches. But here we'll have Miralab and Vitful for the DPS duo, Alpha on tank, and with Chappers, as we said, the new signing, someone who I used to play with quite a bit and against quite a bit, so a familiar face in that, with a very weird, actually, if that's the team comp they play at some point, that is a really interesting comp. I'd actually like to see how that works, but I doubt it. Maybe it's just their preferred characters, who knows. Obviously Wu Yang being the new addition, maybe say a bit of him over the course of this series as well. But we then also have the lineup for Dystopia's very own Unknown, being Winrelix, Demons, Diamagicals, Lorvin, Alvin, Kiriko on Kiriko, Frog on Frog, and then Vemto as well for Reaper. So again, both teams kind of similarly sized. Normally, I think before we've had one team having a lot less compared to the other. This time round, they have a few subs each if they have them available. They have a very good pairing with everyone on the team. Good range, so I think it will be looking good for them. as they have Nuke and Nixu on the DPS lineup this time. Connor Mawman, again, someone else we did see last time in the spring shootout, actually. So he's going to be coming on to tank for Unknown. And then Uzuya on the best character in the game, with Demons as well on the support lineup. That was not biased, by the way.
Awful take.
So,
awful take.
Completely not true. It's just statistically proven. But I think both teams, just by their, like, obviously opening lineups are obviously names, and then names can have statuses behind them. They have reputations for previous events, as I was saying about Connor. But with Jichael's Academy compared to Unknown, the character selection, like the preferred characters they want, do you think that will come into play for any of the maps going forward in this series?
I mean, we saw a Life Weaver on those characters, right? I don't think we will be seeing that. We're starting off today with Nepal, a bit of a classic in terms of control maps. But then we will be looking over to Route 66, followed by Suravasa, Blizzard World if it's not a 3-0, and finished off with Runa Sapi. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much Life Weaver today. But, I mean, Wu Yang is still a very popular pick across a lot of different tournaments, not just this one. So, you know, Chap has had it listed as his preferred pick. I'm expecting a little bit of that throughout the series, especially on some of the more pokey maps with the longer sight lines. You can chuck some damage down. Well, yeah, I think the interesting thing will be what tanks we see. Both these teams have highlighted they both really enjoy the rush comps, and they think that's their strongest comp. Although a bit of a difference where Jichael, Unknown, like playing it with the Junker Queen, whereas Jichael apparently like playing it more as a pirate ship. I don't know how that quite works as a as a rush comp.
It's conventional, maybe is the term I'd put for it. Like, if you're running pirate ship, usually you're running it with maybe a Ryan, Bap, Bastion, but you never know. There could be a Lucio in there as well, and then you just full send. You get off the point. Why bunker down and hide any longer, and then start smashing everyone to pieces? But then, if you're gonna go up against the JQ rush comp, that's going to be pretty long sightlines, or pretty right up in your face sightlines. So, very different, I think, rush tactics we could be seeing. We may see, obviously, a variety of playstyles, the dive, the poke, the etc. But we do have our hero bans coming in, so it's nothing from Jichael's Academy because they have no fear. I'm kidding. They haven't banned anyone yet. Unknown, though, are banning Reaper. Now, on Nepal, of all maps, I didn't expect Reaper to be someone maybe they considered to be kind of a prominent threat on the front lines, but I guess if they are wanting to play maybe someone like, as Connor was maybe mentioning, Orisa in his player profile, then a Reaper is a very hard hitter when Orisa has very little cooldowns, but a threat with Death Blossom in the back.
Yeah,
that is their ban. Who knows for Jichael?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Jichael's ban come up here. But yeah, Reaper is a bit of a. I talk a lot about meta banning. Oh, there we have it, Baptiste. Now that is definitely an interesting ban right there. And continues what I was saying. I talk a lot about meta banning, which is where you ban characters like Lucio, where you completely shut down a composition, or maybe a Sigma to try and slow down a poke composition. Neither of these really define any metas at the moment. In previous times, we've seen Baptiste defining metas back in Overwatch 1, but currently, not so much. So, we're getting over to Nepal here in just a second as the teams can get themselves pulled together for this. Yeah, interesting. I don't know how to take them, to be honest.
Yeah, Baptiste and Reaper being the bans. I think Bap on a point or two on this map is probably some of the stronger, but Reaper again also has his moments. I think both teams will have their reasoning, and we will find out the reasoning behind them maybe in their composition choices as we are going to get into map 1 on Nepal. So this is going to be a pretty obviously Nepal, one of I think the fan favorite control maps. Well, a lot of control maps are just very good but very diverse, so we will probably see a huge diversity in composition style as we see here initially. So Jichael's running out on the Genji Sim, TP out of spawn, probably swap to Tracer or something else. Alpha on the Zarya, Ju and Chappers on Lucio and Kiriko respectively. As a pause comes in, because why not? And then we will see the rest of Unknown. So we'll have, I think by seeing Unknown's composition from the top right, Freya, Pharah?
Yeah, I mean, and then also running the Orisa for a bit of a brawl comp, but then giving her no speed boost. But, you know, look, I'm looking at Demons and Izuya playing Kiri and Wu Yang. It doesn't really appear to me like a brawl comp. If anything, you're almost leaving you're leaving the Orisa out to dry a little bit with. Yeah, there's not going to be much sustain. You're going to get some healing from the Kiri, and a decent amount of healing in that regard. But I've got to say, right, Wu Yang is getting a lot of hype at the moment, and a lot of teams are playing him. In my opinion, he's sort of just a numbers monster at the moment. And as soon as a nerf comes through, which I'm expecting one to be, he's going to fall out of meta very quickly. There is no utility to his character, bar the fact he can shoot people from around corners. Right? So
he's going to get the Ram treatment.
He's a bit of a Moira, right? In my opinion, he can't speed boost anyone. He can do good damage. He can do all right healing. Yes, his ult is a good engage tool, but I mean, you could argue coalescences as well. But I don't see what he actually brings to the table for the majority of team compositions. I can't see a composition where you go, Wu Yang is the pick. That is what we need right now.
I think for the Wu Yang point, like obviously I've been kind of out of the loop on a lot of stuff, but playing a little bit more recently, I feel like Wu Yang, like talking about the Ram treatment, Ram got hard nerfed into the ground that his pick rate, his win rate is floored. Like, I kid you not, there was a video I was watching, Super TF, you get a free shout out on the Dystopia Twitch channel. What an honor. The statistic that was pulled up was Ram had like a 39% win rate, but the pick rate was at like 6. He's not getting chosen.
Yeah.
Wu Yang is the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Pick rate is like 40, win rate is like 55%. It is just such a high rate. I think it's because his utility is great. You have Zen Harmony Orb built into a Mercy Beam. You have damage output that is very, very versatile in spammage or control. So if you're a EM god, like a lot of people in this lobby, you do have the chance to get some really good chip damage, pick potential, very solid unit in general. And then yes, it's a good engage tool, but it's also a very good disengage tool. I think if you're gonna you are gonna want to use it aggressively, try and get a knockdown or a kill or two onto a backline without having any fear. Like, it's like Nano, but way more aggressive because you run at supersonic speeds for whatever reason. So I think a nerf for him might come in. I wouldn't expect too much though, because his kit feels succinct. His movement as well is very good. But I think that is what can't really be exploited a lot, because you need someone to dive him and then someone to shoot him to get a good pace of him being low on the ground and then when he as well. So yeah, he's a very good mix.
He has very good survivability. I do see what you're saying, but yeah, I think he'll disappear into mediocre Overwatch characters pretty quickly, to be honest. Although one thing to be talked about at the moment is the Genji. So since the perk update, obviously you've got that 3-second melee perk. His win rate is now the highest in the game out of every character. He is skyrocketed to the highest win rate in the game. Now, I don't really understand where the developers were thinking when they thought, you know what, a character that's based around this entire a character that's based around the relationship with his dash ability, getting the dash resets to start a fight, giving him an ability to basically reset his dash infinitely, is pretty strong. Now, from what I'm hearing, there's quite a lot of issues coming out of the lobby, so we're going to go to a very quick break. Hopefully it will not be long at all. So thank you for sticking with us, but we'll try and get it sorted very quickly. This is the issue with trying to get a stream scheduled very last minute. But Stick around, we will not be long.
See you guys soon.
Okay, thank you for sticking with us there. Apologies for the issues, but we are going to be jumping straight into Nepal here. Bit of an issue with people connecting to a lobby, but you all know what joining custom games on console is like. Now, jumping straight into Nepal, we're going to be seeing similar but slightly different team compositions. Unknown now opting for a Winston pick.
Yeah, Winston, and before we obviously saw Freya Farah, that's inevitably potentially not what they were wanting to run. However, they are now going to run Symmetra off of potentially the TB, but maybe stick on the actual Symmetra, because Tracer is already a pick. So, is it going to be a switch on the Genji? It is. Okay, so there is going to be a mirror match on the DPS lineup. Zarya into Winston, and then we do have a Kiriko on both teams, as we have a Wu Yang as opposed to a Lucio. So, very similar comps. Just, again, as you said, DB, down to the tank. So here we go, getting into the first fight of the playoff invitational, I would say.
Very early engagement there from Nexo and Miralep, having a little battle on the outside, but it is the Wu Yang by Zuya that is taking a lot of damage, as well as Connor. The Zarya from Alpha, they're just able to stance as a team. Jichael's walking, and there we have it, Vateful taking down his opposite number of Nuke there on point, as Jichael's open up this first control point with an early point capture.
Yeah, Miralab already 75 to that pulse bomb, taking a 1v1 with Nixo in the back line, and then rushing on to the front to get a lot of really good damage there. Very good, like, pivotal fight, I feel like, in this map, because this map, if you cannot break down this point well at the start, it becomes very, very hard, I think, with this sort of comp to actually break through. Connor almost gonna get taken out, but does get the kill on the Vateful with Nuke. Miralab, though, is gonna help take him out, and Alpha's gonna take out Nuke as well. Dropping maybe like flies.
Miralep on the cleanup there, just catching Connor. You know, he was searching for that pick onto Vateful. Nuke was able to pick it up, but Connor had to take so much damage in the meantime. And only with 40% on the Primal, there was no opportunity to keep himself alive there. Now we look at the flip side, we're seeing coming up very close to the Kitsune rush. The pulse ones from both teams online. Although Jichael's taking a lot of damage at the opening of this fight.
Well, and you have it exactly there. Drew gonna get taken out. Kitsune from Chappers is gonna be invested. Nixo is going to get the post bomb. Miralab with the kill to Izuya though in the backline with his own post bomb. And the cleanup from Miralab and Alpha. This duo right now is running rampant. Huge team kill from Jichael using 2 ults. But to be fair, I think they honestly have such a good backing, 80%, and they have their other 3 ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is going to be a bit of an ult done from Jichael opposed to trying to fight with nothing. And Chapper's taking down Nixo before the fight can even start. 90% onto the point now, and Unknown are going to have to start making something work. And it's Chapper's again with a pick onto Nuke. Unknown are going to have to try and play this from a disadvantage point. They fought in the backline trying to take down anything he can, and Unknown don't even get a chance to get onto point.
G literally drops the B after the point is already captured, and it...
Ooh, are we frozen?
Whoa!
Oh, there we are.
Never mind. I thought it was me that was going crazy. Yeah, literally a mad first fight. Jichael's absolutely proving that they are not here to take things lightly. 100-0 and Unknown. A Reaper ban? I'm starting to think it could have been different in another realm, but they are now going to run out on the same comp, it seems, but with Connor running out on the Scottish Hazard and Izuya now going to be off the Wuyang onto the Lucio, so it's literally going to be a mirror match, but instead we have sorry.
We're seeing the
Hazard,
teams.
so
We're seeing the teams meet on this high ground now, but it is Unknown that we're able to get there a little bit quicker, and they just shut the door on Jichael's straight away. Jichael looking to rotate. Now, this is where we're seeing a very differential in the team, where Jichael move as a unit, and Unknown are able to collapse. And a collapse right now, almost catching Bayful. There you have it. Izuya going very deep to catch Bayful in the end, although it's Connor that's had to go very aggressive into the backline. High charge already on Alpha is going to allow him to just rotate onto point fairly safely and rip apart Unknown's front line.
A absolutely huge fight coming in for Jichael's immediately. Again, like, even though Chappers is going to get pooped up by Izuya, that's a really good poop. Connor, though, taking down the meanwhile, so it's again this kind of 50-50, 1-for-1. They are trading back and forth. Nixo, though, takes out Alpha. I think that is going to be the kill that is going to turn the tides for Unknown. I think Jichael's are going to have a pretty good hold there. Miralab is just kind of just chipping in every bit of damage. It's going to take out Demons. It's going to be him versus Nixo. Nixo's going to clean up. There is a good turning point for Unknown. 24% for Jichael's. And Nixo this time, the first one with Pulse Bomb, as they are now on Sombra as well.
Yeah, a bit of a weird player. We've not seen much Sombra in the current meta, although I'm maybe a little bit out of the loop from that, because, yeah, it's definitely not something I've been seeing in my games. Now, Jichael looking to keep on this Zarya comp, 60% towards the grab. It's going to be a very big ultimate for their fight composition. Bayful taking a lot of damage, though, and falling first again. Unknown are able to get the flip out, but it's not without losses. And I think very strong getting the point, but they surely are going to just get ticked down with damage as Connor jumps straight into the front line of Unknown there. Sorry.
Nixo was critical for like 5 seconds on 1 HP. Izuya is going to get taken out. I do think Jugglers are just going to be able to clean this up. Unless Unknown really want to commit Alpha. Brilliant dragon onto Connor, taking him out mid-leap. That frog is not going to get out of the pond. He's going to unfortunately go back to the spawn room. And, wow, that's a play on words I didn't realize. And the fight is going to continue. Miralab is going to take out Izuya. I think Jichael's are just going to slowly but surely pick up the kills. Miralab with another, might be 3 with the help of Chappers. And now, this is another really good position for Jichael's, as they also run Sombra. They just really want to run this mirror match.
Yeah, now a lot of ultimates coming online here. The EMP coming out from Nuke, both tank ults on either side. The Kitsunes, but I want to talk about Du being a lot closer to beat than Izuya. That could be something that is very important, as the Kitsune has been popped by both teams. Connor looking for the Hazard ult, trying to catch anything, not able to. Find Du in the backline, but Unknown are able to get the point ticked over there.
Oh, that's both supports dead though. EMP blocked by the own wall of Connor. No, that is such an unfortunate synchronization of plays. Chappers and Vateful are going to take out the pairing. Unfortunately, I can't believe it, but Hazard has become a choking hazard for Sombra. And it actually might just cost them the map. Jichael's have 4 ults, and Izuya is the only man standing with one even barely coming online. 98% Connor is now going to die really early on the Doomfist. They did need the touch. The Graviton Surge is going to be huge from Alpha, picking up enough, and that is it. Jichael's 1-0, and it was very, 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 very flashy. I don't know how many times I can say flashy or very.
Very dominant as well. I mean, I think out of all of the control maps, I'm not surprised to be seeing this. I'm assuming it's where he was able to find both DPS of Unknown. There, he finds one Nixo, and then he's just on the hunt straight away for another. But you're seeing this, like, the mix of pumping damage and getting picks there. Now, that, I think, is probably the most dominant control point we have seen up to date in this league.
Yeah, and it I don't know. I think, from my perspective, Jichael's had a much stronger comp initially, right? Yeah. Not saying that Unknown's wasn't. I think their comp initially was also good, but Connor's Winston into a Zarya and DPS pairing that are kind of making this kind of pivotal, like, movement onto one target. He's not able to put enough pressure onto the backline, whilst Zarya enables a lot of protection for their backline. Yeah. So the DPS for Jichael's got to move freely, either with a bubble or as themselves, onto the support line on the back of Unknown, or the backline was protected from Jichael's because of Alpha. So that was something very pivotal. I think as well, their ult management from Jichael's in general, like, it wasn't even necessary because they were just winning fights by pure focus on specific targets. Like, they killed Unknown's support line first so many fights, or got a pick on the DPS or tank. Yeah. So they did that so efficiently that even besides the slight mix-up with the EMP from Nuke, that I don't even think that could have turned the fight. But I think Jichael's performance already has been so impressive. They will probably try and continue this motion in the second map.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seemed like Unknown wanted to play for the trading backlines approach, and they just weren't able to get any worth. Like you said, Alpha was just able to completely save the entirety of Jichael's backline, whereas, you know, Connor on the Hazard, and we even saw a bit of was it Winston early on, or was that before?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, that was first point. That's what I was saying.
That's, if you're gonna play if you're gonna trade the backline, you actually have to trade the backline. You know, you need to get those picks when you engage. And like you said, with those early DPS deaths, like, quite often, Unknown just were never in a position to actually engage the way they wanted to. Jichael was just shutting them down very early on. So we have got a substitution going into this next map, which will be Route 66, and it is Iktha coming in for Chappers. So Iktha, yep, like we're seeing on stream here, Anna player. Last week we saw some incredible plays on Anna, and then really good plays on Kiri as well from the Junk Town. I'm remembering where Jichael really started their defense and their attack onto Budget Approved, where they were playing for their lives last week, and they're in the same position again. Like I said, the winner of this game will get that last playoff position. So going into Route 66, Jichael are going to be looking to keep the momentum going, right? But it is an escort map, and it is a momentum-based game mode, in my opinion. So Jichael's are coming in with a very good advantage to this point. What can Unknown do to stop that?
I think ban Anna. Iktha, like, listen, Aura is the definition of that personality. I don't think anyone is able to combat. I watched the plays back. I kid you not, a support ban on this, like, if Jichael are a very good team with what they just played, with dive or anything, they are wanting to potentially play that. Now, we do have our bans, D.Va and Tracer. These are two very kind of dominant characters on this map, just because, well, Tracer's they're both dominant in any situation, let's be honest, but D.Va taking advantage of any high ground. There's so much high ground to play off of on Route 66, and Tracer, I feel like Tracer's a bit of a conventional one, just because you don't want to have your backline dealing with an awful lot of disruption, so potentially trying to minimize the amount of kind of force that Unknown are able to put on the backline of Jichael's Academy, wanting to run this break Ana composition potentially. Might be the case. Dive without a Tracer and a Diva can work, just maybe requires a bit of expertise in other characters. But
I think again they're not great bans in my opinion. Right? They're not really forcing anything. I mean, Diva, there's other ways to play Dive. Tracer, there's other characters to play Dive. So I think maybe each team could be a little bit more creative with what they're giving us. I'm seeing in chat there is a Jichael's Academy copy pasta coming in. So I think it's fair to say maybe they're the fan favorites for this game.
I have genuinely posted that in certain TikToks because it's something of a renowned nation. To get a feature in that copy pasta is like getting a role or a spot in the Super Bowl halftime show. That is the only comparison you could make. We do have our comps though, and they are not really what I was expecting, but they are a variation. So we have Genji Reaper, so there's the Reaper from before that was banned. And then we have Alpha on Hazard, and then Ju Ichtha on Wuyang Kiriko. So we did see that before, the kind of pairing in a previous series. And then we have Genji Sojourn from Nixo, Connor back on Winston, Demons on the Ana, and Izuya on the Wuyang once again. So Unknown attacking in this, like in first for this map, is vital for them. I feel like if they are wanting to set a standard compared to last map, this is where they need to show what they are made of.
Yeah, if they're going to start their momentum, now is the time. And look, they've gone aggressive very quickly. They're already forcing Jichael back to the top of this gas station, and Connor just going so aggressive and finds Ichtha. That is a very early pick to start this attack. Now Alpha is able to find Nixo, and Du is able to take down Connor, but I think Ichtha not being alive is going to make it very hard for Jichael's Academy to sort of stand up and take the fight to him.
You're literally doing loop-de-loops, and Vateful is going to catch you out. No more ring around the roses for you, good sir. I'm going to take you downtown, and I feel like that initial jump in from Connor was great, getting Ichtha. And then the jump after, he got eviscerated in a second. Literally the entire health pool gone. So this is going to be a pretty explosive game if Connor, the literal Winston, is going to get deleted in 0.5 seconds. Alpha trying to use that jagged wall to force Connor back or to draw him further into the team to get picked off. They are getting free push though. They really have no real threat right now from Jichael. They're just holding that high ground.
It's an objective game mode, yeah. So, you know, already at 70 meters almost for Unknown, even though they've not really won a team fight as of yet, but they've got control of this gas station now. Nixo almost falling, then having to dash away, and that is, oh, what a nade! Thrown in from Demons, just catches the entirety of Jichael's Academy there.
That is insane. Nobody died immediately. At 4 with no cleanse available immediately, and then it's just turned. It turned on its head. Connor and Nixon got taken down. Alpha as well gets a good cleanse out from Ichtha, but I think Unknown, if they want to take this fast, they are down Izuya, but once he's back, I think this could be a good fight for them. They do have literally every ult really apart from EMP for this next fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a bit scrappy so far. and as I'm calling it scrappy, Alpha has missed his Herrick down there. Mira will be able to find Demons, but it is Unknown that are up right now. Walking in, Alpha looking for more. Vateful finds Izuya with the blade. I think Izuya used ult there as well, just before he died. Still very scrappy. Connor's had to use the Primal Rage, keeps up alive there. But is that the DPS line of Jichael's just keeping themselves in this fight?
That was insane. Vateful literally risking it all on that Dragon Blade, really shutting down Nixo initially as well. Nuke is just getting chased around every step of the way. Another good cleanse coming out from Ichtha. So Kitsune Rush and Death Blossom against EMP. Unknown had 4 ults, and like I feel like only one of them really got an awful lot of value. But it could be a good pick here on the Alpha. Good job, Nuke. EMP could be going in, running back around to the Mega, gonna get that hacked up. And I think this could be a really good spot for Unknown to take this, unless Jichael's whip out a secret trump card known as Kitsune Blossom. but I'm not suspecting it, not anymore.
Oh, yeah. With Ichtha falling there, Vifel able to take down Nixo, but it's not enough to restart an engagement, like you said. Nuke being able to hold on to the EMP, it did almost seem like Nuke and Connor wanted to walk in and get that EMP, but what a bit of a stagger death there from Dew. Is going to slow down how quickly John can get back in, and Nuke is not giving them a chance to breathe, going in with the EMP, and the wall off from Connor just sends Alpha packing.
Yeah, that is what we call an alpha move, and it's kind of ironic considering who it was on. But that is a good switch. I think Connor really realizing that Hazard is he's literally just such a different unit compared to a lot of tanks right now. There is still the opportunity for this Kitsune Death Blossom. We do also have Wu Yang's ultimate bottom text, because I'm not sure of the name. Nixon getting a good pick as well on the Vateful. I think this is a really good momentum. There is going to be Wu Yang's ultimate is going to get Nixo. I love the fact that it's the kill credit for Dew. It's going to get walled off, but Unknown are getting really good progression here. Nano onto Connor as well on the backline. Demons is going to get ran on by Alpha, but he's not going to get anyone. Ichtha is going to get taken out by Connor. It's very split right now, but Death Blossom in the backline, taking out Demons. It's just so back and forth right now. Tear it down from Connor. Is he going to be able to get this kill into Alpha? No! Almost gets retaliated by the exact same individual.
Yeah, it took a lot of damage there. Jichael just walked up, and they kept their tank alive for the time being. They've backed out, and they're setting themselves up ready for this re-engagement before the end of point B. As Mirror goes incredibly deep. The Kitsune rush comes out, but it is Izuya's... I think that was onto himself there. As Alpha takes down the opposite number. Very back and forth, though, as Ichtha is just able to completely dodge Demon's abilities there, and the Wu Yang of Dew is just flying about, humping the numbers into this Unknown.
Yep, that was 2 deaths for both team here, so potentially 3v3 fight, take it flipping Overwatch 3 at that point, or Overwatch 4 maybe. But they are just going to reset still. Right, is Alpha, okay, I don't know what's going on. Alpha has been mind controlled to try and tear it down twice and has missed both times. I feel like he's had a master plan and we just can't see it. Nixo is going to use the overclock here. Isn't also really going to get any value, just going to get shut down by the deflected Vateful, who's not going to Dragon Blade, but it's going to get shut down so efficiently. Really good aim from Mizuya and Nixo. And there goes Mirrorlab as well. I think Unknown are looking to take the second point. It's a really sweet sequence.
Yeah, they need to clean it up here, though. 17 seconds on the clock. Alpha still being alive with the Wu Yang. Jumping in with the Wu Yang ult there as well, looking for Izuya, and he's able to find it. Alpha is keeping this point alive. Connor Mammon is being hacked, and he's already walled off into the corner. He's trying to climb, he's trying to run, but he can't go anywhere as Alpha takes him down. We've gone to OT here at this Unknown, trying to keep their fight alive. But with the EMP coming up, Mirrorlep is the one that is able to get the kills. Nuke is walled off from point, doesn't die, but doesn't touch either.
Insane. By the way, I will say, Vateful, really good recognition to swap off the Genji there. Getting back on Sombra really helped that fight initially. Picked up the pace. I really did not expect that to actually be held. Point, not like less than a meter left.
Yeah, well,
but
I think that's the presence of Hazard, right? Hazard is this character
that
is able to sustain, and especially with Wu Yang's ultimate there, is able to just pump numbers. Now, look at the scoreboard. Nothing's jumping out to me here as, oh, this team are doing a lot more than the other team.
Yeah, scoreboard-wise, the damage is, I feel like in this season, right, especially, like, Demons has literally got more damage than he does healing. This season is ridiculous, I think. The damage is so overwhelming compared to how much healing supports actually do in this comp. The healing amount is very, very minimal, but it is always very, very crucial in a lot of comps. And like this kind of speedy engagement that we're seeing from both teams, it doesn't really rely on the heals. It relies on the focus, the priority of targets, and just the general aim and usage of abilities and ultimates.
Yeah, well, the
I think
momentum
did that better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, you said Escort's very momentum based.
Yeah.
To be fair, you were right.
I mean, even the momentum of the fights. Like we saw Nixo popped overclock earlier on the attack, and wasn't able to find anything with it. Right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
Overclock most of the time wasn't able to get a lot of value. It was usually shut down by Vadeful because he was on Genji. Genji just did very well then.
Yeah. Now, we're seeing the control here. This is very different from what we saw on the earlier round, where Unknown came out on the Winston. They jumped straight to the gas station. They took control of this corner very quickly. The flip side of this, Jichael are walking up with the car, and they are taking a lot of damage because of it. Nixo able to take down Iktha as a bit of a split now from Jichael's academy. They're trying to hold point, but there's only 3 of them actually on the car.
Yeah, Connor is just being this immovable mountain. That was such a good jagged wall attempt, I must say, from Alpha, trying to get the wall off onto Nuke. He is going to get focused down here by Connor. That wall is shutting out space as well. This is the thing with this comp, and another really good kill. Nixo really shutting out this backline pressure. Took out Iktha, then Vateful, bottom right. It is something very... Also, huge TP coming in from Merilap there. Is going to be pretty dominant. Just having that pressure on the cart, delaying them as long as possible. Nixo was taken out though, but Nuke going into the backline, taking out both supports and getting out with the Mega. That's just going to be another fight win, and Unknown looking really, really strong in this defense compared to the previous Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, they look like they're actually in this game, right? They are fighting, they are having presence, and they are stopping Jichael's getting any purchase on this point. Still holding this corner very, very differently to what Jichael were playing, and I think it's paying off for Unknown currently, as we're already 2 minutes left on the clock, as Deuce ult has come out onto Alpha to allow him to just walk in and just put Alpha... put Connor on his back, but he's the one that falls, maybe going a little bit too aggressive there without his team being able to follow up. But looking a bit scrappy here as Connor looks to try and catch Merilap as he sprints back to his team in fade, but the jagged wall and the follow-up from Nixo absolutely shuts the door on Merilap, and Jichael are going to have to go running.
This is a very, very different pace. Good anti from Demons. Alpha again with another turret down that I don't think got anyone again. This is such... I feel so bad for putting it out every time, but it just seems to keep happening unless I'm wrong every time. Good slashes from Alpha and Connor. That turret down is going to pick up just Alpha. I feel like that was very aggressive though. It doesn't seem to do much. So
well, it slowed them down.
Both hazard ults. Yeah, it slowed them down.
If you look at,
even though the fight was resetting.
If you look at Unknown, they only had 3 people alive. So if Jichael walked in at that point, then Unknown were going to fall apart quickly. So Connor's ult, even though not a flashy one, it was a very important one. Although I think we're going to see a bit of a flashy ult coming out from Nuke. We've just seen him teleport into the background, and he has the ult online. But it is Connor that's got the nano boost as he jumps in and finds Vateful.
Oh, Merilap with the Death Blossom just gets shut down by the Spike Guard. It's not going to do anything apart from getting a quick kill on the Demons. Iktha is going to get taken out. Alpha's just picking up kills left and right as well. This is really, really scrappy. Hold on. Nuke is currently low as well. Alpha, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Is he actually portraying his name right now? Because I think it's kind of looking that way. 3 kills for him. They might actually get this point.
Well, is it scrappy or is it planned? Like I said, Hazard is able to just sustain for a long time.
So true.
And the wall coming out from Connor to try and shut out the rest of Jichael's as he gets back in, but the ults are coming out left, right, and center. The blade did come out from Vateful there, but wasn't able to find anything, as the overclock from Nixo is also not going to find anything as Iktha takes it out, and I think that is going to be Jichael's walking into point B here. Talk me through some of those ultimates, Kyo.
I wish I could. So wish I could. Vateful Dragon Blade on overclock. It's happened every fight. That time it did not go right again because Banky got dropped to crit immediately and then killed off by Connor's Spike Guard on the objective. Then we had Iktha's Kitsune, which just, I think, literally just allowed Jichael's to win the ult fast. And then Nixo's overclock, again, sliding in, trying to get a headshot on the support line. Didn't go well as well. So, ults this game do seem to be faring 50-50, I will say. We do have the combination once again. Connor actually gonna get knocked out by that. That is an insane range, by the way, how horizontal that hit. But it works out. Merilap taking out both DPS with the assistance of Alpha. And if they play this right from Jichael's, this could be another 2-0 starter for the series, but they do have 2 major ults to look out for.
These meters are ticking up though. 65 already. We've only got 20 meters left for Unknown to be able to get a purchase back on this cart. Now, they need to come out, like I said, they need to use these ults effectively, but the tear it down, the downfall, the match of the downfall, we've actually seen people get stuck, but it is Jichaels that are able to get the kills here, as Unknown are struggling to get anything in this fight. New keeping himself alive for a second, but falls to the double shot of Miraleb, and that is 2-0 here. Jichael's looking very, very strong.
Alpha, I take back absolutely everything I said about the previous 3 wars that you shot off. That 4th one hit 4 members. It hit 4 immediately. I literally just let them win. It actually just enabled them to... So look at it. Like, everyone is caught in it apart from one member of Unknown. Vehicle collapsing on the team. Absolutely pivotal fight. That could have gone so many different ways if Unknown had a bit more time to work with, but they shut it down so well. I think that was a way better map for both teams. Not maybe ult-wise, as I'll say again, but gameplay-wise, team fights, they were scrappy, very distant, I think, in location at the same time.
Yes.
But very much better performance from Unknown. I think if they maintain that, we will be seeing at least a map 4. Because
they're going to want to hold on,
is our
right?
next. Yeah.
This could be the end of Unknown's journey in this league. This next map, if they do not win this, they can't lose another map. If they want to stay in this league, this inaugural season, they will have to go and reverse sweep this series. Now, before we find out if Jichael are able to knock out Unknown, or if Unknown can start the basis of a reverse sweep, we are going to go to a very quick break. But we won't be long, only a few minutes. Thank you for joining us so far, but we will be back in, a couple minutes time.
Yeah, round about. We'll see you guys then.
Cheers.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final round of the playoffs for the Dystopia's Summer League. We have ourselves the matchup going up here between Jichael's Academy against Dystopia's very own Unknown, and it is 2-0 to Jichael's currently. We have had a very hectic set of games, I think the second game more so, but we are going to go into our third map very shortly. DB, as we have said, 3-0s is all we have commentated this us two anyway. Can't remember. Did you and Jay commentate?
It was a 3-1. It was a 3-1.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if it's just us two together.
Well, I've got to jump in quickly. You said the final round. This is not necessarily the final round here. Oh, of the regular season. I thought you were saying the final round of this series. I was like, you are just counting out.
No,
okay.
I said the playoffs. I wouldn't put this.
Well, the playoffs haven't started. The playoffs haven't started. This is the
sorry.
Round of the round
before
robin.
the playoffs. Okay, so I was wrong, and then you heard wrong. So we're all flipping tired.
We're both
ill. Yeah, we are like. Listen, I have always said the reverse sweep is always on the table. So, is it gonna happen? Yay or nay? Right now.
I refuse to comment on that one. I think Unknown are going to struggle to get a reverse sweep here. They're going into Surabasa, and they're going to be looking to. It's a rush map, right? Now, what do you ban here? I think there's a few options. Both teams like rush. Unknown have said they like the Queen Rush, so maybe they're going to try and ban around that ideology. Whereas Jichael's Academy have said they like a Pirate Ship Rush, so maybe they're going to try and get rid of some speed boosts. Maybe try and play a stood still rush. But the bans are going to get through in just a second, and it's almost I can see through the future. Yeah, so Unknown. They're going to be looking to play the Junker Queen. The new perks make Zarya make Junker Queen very, very strong. So I'm not surprised by that at all. And then the flip side, Jichael's Academy going for the Lucio ban. Like I said, they've said they like Rush Pirate Ship. I don't think that's a real thing. You could maybe say Brawl, but Rush Pirate Ship's not a thing. Jichael's Academy banning the Lucio. I am a bit surprised by it. Maybe it's because they're not going to be paying their standard support line. Chappers is coming in here for Ichtha. Neither of them were ever the Lucio player, though, so I don't think that sub is around that situation. Maybe Chappers is their Kiri player. He certainly looked very comfortable on Kiri in that first map.
Very true, very true.
And I think Ichtha has always gravitated more towards the Ana in their compositions anyway, which is not a very strong character here on Surabasa, where, yes, like I said, very brawl heavy, very rush heavy.
Yeah, and it is going to be map 3, so this is potentially where the final stand of Unknown kicks into gear. They are 2-0 down. I will say it now, and I will say it forever. Reverse sweep is in the cards, and whether or not Unknown pick up that exact hand, it is down to them. So we have Sim again, TP out, probably a Genji again from Vitful, Mirlap on the Cass, Alpha on the Orisa, dual mirror match for Connor, and Mirlap dueling Nixo on the Cassidy. We have Brig Bap versus Kiri Wu Yang, and it is a Tracer from Vitful. So the only difference actually, is the support line for both teams.
Yeah.
And it's
very
a
slow.
Pretty big difference.
Very slow on both sides, though.
Very. No rush. All poke, really.
All poke. Yeah, all poke, and then probably some popping as people get onto point. As Nixo takes a lot of damage early on. We're seeing a very different in stance here as Unknown look to play through the archway, whereas Jichael's have walked up the stairs and they're looking to play the long sight lines. Although it's Nixo that falls straight away from Alpha, and Miralep takes down Nuke. Jichael's going to walk straight in here. They're trying to clean up quickly as Connor falls on point. Miralep missing a few key shots there to take down the support duo of Demons and Izia.
Stagger. See?
We'll call it a stagger. We'll call it a stagger.
Yeah. Demons getting staggered and Izia.
Oh, actually, that is a big stagger.
Pays up dividends to miss a few shots every now and then. Don't worry, Miralep. I got your back. Don't listen to DB. He's cool, but yeah, who cares? Yeah, I think that is a very good fight from Jichael. I do love the positioning as well from Ju. For having that awareness for the Tracer duel, wanting to then, for some reason, tackle the Cassidy, like, poking into that back line is very, very devastating. But supporting Miralab and taking out Nuke early, just allowing Connor and then the support line for Unknown to get thrusted down after they all die out. Alpha already with a Terror Surge is going to use that pretty aggressively, only hitting Nixo with it, but Miralab with a nice follow-up. That's the shot you want to be hitting, son. And that is going to just clear off the fight. I think this could just be a straight 100-0, and very few ults used up by Jichael's. Probably only a pulse bomb potentially to come out of here.
Well, as you say that, the rush comes out, and the window from Chappers allows Faithful to get 2.
Oh,
3.
Faithful!
I mean, that is going to be the 100-0 right there for the first point. Faithful just running a mockery in the backline of Unknown. As we're seeing the Cassidys face up here, Nix are able to sneak out. I honestly think he teleported a bit there. Nuke goes very deep, almost dies early, but it's Nixo that dies early too. A headshot from Miralab. I mean, I'm sorry for what I said, Miralab. Let them go.
He took it to heart. He took it to heart. And he will show, and so will Faithful, sticking Azuya and helping Alpha out, take out Demons. This DPS, right, what has happened? Jichaels have just gotten the gauge and turned it up to 11, and then turned it past, and now it's breaking the stereo. Their levels have surpassed something I don't even think they know. It is such a fluent gameplay right now. Unknown, they need to, you know what? Deep breath, kind of just realign yourselves. It is 1-0 down, but it's alright. You have 4 ults going in here. Alpha does almost have a second Terror Surge. Here goes the Wu Yang ult, and everyone is running. And Nuke is actually not going to be able to get a finisher. There goes the Terror Surge. That is a huge Terror Surge. Ju is going to use the rally to keep everyone alive. Good usage for that. Alpha taking out Nuke with the Terror Surge. And taking out Connor. Nixo with a kill on the Ju with the High Noon. But it's just the cleanup for Jichaels. I don't understand where all this, like, damage is coming from Jichaels. They survive for so long, and then they strike back like a cobra in the night.
If you're going to try and judge a team, they are the fights to judge them by. Jichaels were absolutely in the less advantageous position. They were all critical. They were all struggling to keep alive on point. And then I think it was maybe the rally from Dew that was just able to stabilize the entire fight. But really, it was that kill onto Connor. Like I've said multiple times, in the 5v5, when you lose your tank, it's quite hard to keep alive, especially in these brawly points. Chappers has gone for an early window, but has been speared away from it. The immortality to keep him alive for a second is gone, and it's Connor and Nuke that are finding the picks. Is this where we see Unknown get back into this? Ooh. The pulse bomb from Faithful though takes down Nixo. Connor's trying to keep it alive. Oh,
this can't be happening! Faithful, stop!
Connor's walked onto point. He's able to get through, but Faithful is just not stopping at all. The Kitsune rush is maybe what's keeping Connor alive just a little bit longer as he's able to get the 4-5 up. But Faithful again with the kills. Now searching for his opposite number. That is 2-0 on this map. This could be it. This is the... If Unknown lose this point, they are knocked out of the DYS League. As Nixo is able to find Faithful, maybe giving them a good start to this next fight, although they're at the disadvantage positional-wise. Jichael's Academy are able to just walk slowly backwards onto a point and almost invite Unknown in. You know, if you want this point, come and get it. We've got the high ground already.
Like, Faithful... I know the glaze is going to be, like, immaculate. Like, chat is going to flame me for glazing Jichael so much right now. But Faithful has just performed a Tracer miracle to literally kill absolutely everyone on the Unknown. And I'm actually flabbergasted. I genuinely don't know what to say. Oh. And Connor... okay, shut me up, Connor. Keep that Terror Surge charging. That kills 2 immediately. Faithful is going to get a kill on Azuya, and Demons is also going to get dropped as well. There is no... Wait, no, you need to stop. This
Faithful is unstoppable.
I can't. He almost got the pulse bomb. They try and pulse bomb each other. Neither of them land, unfortunately. Connor is able to take them out. I thought I was going to see another miracle, and I might have passed out. But this is a pretty good stagger. I think if Jichaels can... Like, if Jichaels don't back up here and they lose Alpha or anyone here, this is going to be really good for Unknown's kind of...
Yeah, Jichael needs to be careful here. I mean, that Terror Surge from Connor, right? We almost didn't get a chance to talk about it as Faithful was looking like maybe taking down the entirety of Unknown alone. But just holds it, just charges it, stares the immortality in the face, and Nixo goes very aggressive, but is maybe going to get caught out here, although it's Connor that finds Chappers. he's taking a lot of damage, and the Terror Surge comes out from Alpha to take down Connor with the rally from Dewey. It's going to be hard to stabilize here for, although Alpha goes sprinting in with the...
what is going on? Everyone's there's so many people flying off the map. Izuya hits the curveball. Nuke almost gets pipped off the map. They do flip the map. Jichael have just got like a 40% off of this fight. Right, oh my word, Nuke. Oh no! Oh no! No! That's not the way you want to go out. I know you want to take Jew down, but that's not the way you should be doing it. Why have you gone about it that way? It's a good Nixo! Right, wait, right, people. Let's bring the level down, please. It's so frantic. It is so. I'm actually sweating at this point. Holy crap!
Fateful absolutely asleep at the controller there. As Alpha sprints in, the window comes out from Chappers to keep him alive, but it is Nuke in the back line of Jichael's academy, trying to let his give his team a little bit of a help on point. But Fateful taking down Izuya, the point ticking towards being flipped over.
Oh
Fateful with another onto Nuke. It's going to be very hard to walk in as Nixo looks to solo hold this. 99% on the point there for Jichael.
Oh my!
Alpha is just unstoppable. He is not missing any shots. What are Unknown going to have to do to get back into this?
What do I have to do to get back in the headspace? Yeah, like literally, there is okay. They have Terror Surge and they have Wu Yang's. Oh right, hold on. Before I say anything, dear me, I thought Nuke or Nixo were gonna both die there. They need a team fight, a full team fight with these two ults. I know they know Jichael's are gonna have ults here. If they track them, they know they will have another Terror Surge. That is a great opening pick, though. Nixo taking out Chappers. There is an ult advantage coming up here for Jichael, so they need to kill Ju quick. Connor's going to act to try and do that. He is going to get the kill. I think this is going to be reliably down. Nixo is cleaning up the fray right now.
I mean, never took
shot
anything
kills.
Else. Never took anything out when Fateful is alive, but he does fall to Demons' Kurais? I don't know. And there we have it.
Oh, Kunais.
Kunais, there it is. So Unknown are able to keep themselves in the league a little bit longer. Maybe this is the start of the reverse sweep we've been talking about.
Yes.
They've only got the one ult online of Izuya's Wu Yang. Again, they're having to push into Jichael's positioning. Jichael just getting the flip of the coin every single time here. Just they're landing with the point flips, right?
Yeah. Quick informational point. Tidal Blast is the name of Wu Yang's ult, and it is going to go right down onto Nuke, who's going to make his way merrily into the backline, but isn't able to get a kill. There is going to be a retaliating rally out from Ju, but he's going to get taken out as well. This is both supports down for Jichael's. They do get the objective, but I think with the Kitsune Rush from Demons, it's going to just aid the remainder of Unknown to push through. They are going to flip, and any staggers they get here are pretty substantial.
I mean, Alpha dying that late. And Fateful is a little bit of a stagger there. 14% already. This ult is good.
Reaper, by the way.
He's a very strong Reaper. He is a very strong Reaper.
It's more so the fact he's switched.
Yeah.
I think for this team, Reaper into Orisa does well, but it's going to be really substantial if he's actually able to get into the backline. I think for that. And also,
you have less poke damage.
Wait, it's not a mirror match?
No. No. Demons
just walk carry anyway.
On the Wu Yang. Now there is some pulse bombs alive here, but Nixo's ult is sitting pretty. He's gonna try and get a good OC as Nuke is searching for a pulse bomb. He's not able to find the connection on to Chappers, and he falls to Fateful as the window comes out from Chappers as Jichael's walk straight down those staircase, straight into Point Alpha, pumping numbers into the support line of Unknown, and it is Demons and Izuya that fall as I say that. 90% on the point, but it is going to flip over as Fateful and Alpha once again just tear apart Unknown.
I think if you are Jichael's in that situation, you're happy that you win the point, but are you happy that you've only got Death Blossom to rely on for this next fight? Because Unknown don't have really any ults, but they do have an awful lot of very, very efficient methods to either A, cancel Death Blossom, or B, just kill Marilat before anyone has the chance to react. So it is going to come down to, I think there will be two fights here, depending on the pace of them. If Jichael's wins the next
slow right now.
But it is looking very slow. They did get a really late stagger on Nuke, and well, there you go, shut down immediately. But it does enough. Fateful taking out Connor, Alpha taking out Demons. Merlep and Nixo gonna trade the lives with Azuya mentioned in the background.
We call it slow, and the entire fight happens about 2 seconds after we say it.
Yeah, it just explodes.
Right, 90%
It's Overwatch.
on the point. Unknown now need to start stressing about will they be able to actually start this attack. 97%, 98%. The OT has been ticked there as Demons is able to pop the Kitsune. But are they able to get on point? They are. Nixo has to
what a touch.
to get there, but Connor is able to find something. And Fateful takes down Demons on point. Connor's got the Terror Surge to keep him alive a little bit longer. But Azuya's Wu Yang goes incredibly low, and his Alpha on the point, just absolutely pumping numbers.
It.
I think that's all she wrote. This Unknown have been knocked out, and Jichaels have booked their ticket to the playoffs.
In a grand slam fashion, and if there's another game I commentate the next time, which is a 3-0, I am getting my Torp hammer out and I'm smashing my laptop to bits. No, I'm kidding. That was such... This has got to be, by far, like, Nuke versus Fateful might be a Tracer duel, but Fateful... Oh my word. That, like, Azuya... Does anyone have a chance to react? Not even Nuke does. He runs away from the entire thing. Holy crap. Well... That is certainly something.
Not again.
I had to bring it back.
3-0 Jichaels Academy. That was intense. That was very intense. I to be honest, we talked about there being a possibility for a reverse sweep. Jichaels at no point looked like they were going to give Unknown the option, even the chance to start a reverse sweep. Now, stream, you're now seeing what I said, not again, too. Kyo has once again graced us with the squid. Yep, there we have it, full screen.
It's genuinely more, like, famous than I am at this point.
I mean, I think the clip title was Professionalism 101 last time. Luckily, I'm more prepared this time, so I'm not in pieces of laughter.
Good job.
3-0 for Jichael. Unknown knocked out of the Dis League, our first official knockout on stream. Very, very intense. What do you think of it? Okay, you think nothing of it? I don't know if you can...
Like, what can I say? What can I say that implements every feeling I thought throughout that entire series? We thought round 1 was one-sided, and to be fair, it was. Unknown didn't really, I think, have their pieces put together. They really wound it up, and then Jichael seemed to wind their gauge up a little bit more, and then Suravasa, the nuclear bomb, was being prepped the prior 2 maps, and then decided to explode for the 3rd one.
Fateful and Alpha.
Yeah, Fateful just decided he had enough. Literally had enough of everything. He is going to kill absolutely everyone on Unknown. Several fights in a row, clutch up several team fights. Alpha and him, Merilab getting some really good, like, after you said about missing a shot, his Cassidy
I don't think he missed again. Yeah.
Literally, probably about 90%. It was a good series, and I do think having a Suravasa that didn't go 3-0 as well was actually a change from the previous sets, because usually they were 3-0s.
Yeah.
But weirdly, the final point that we finished on for Suravasa usually is actually quite a big deciding point.
It does, yeah. And it's
weirdly the one we've seen.
It's a back and forth, right? A lot of the time, that point is back and forth. Now, very impressive from Jichaels there, and we are now going to. Yes, not to be talked down. But with how impressive Jichaels were, we're going to get someone on stream to chat to us a little bit. So we're going to break for a few minutes now, set that up, but stick around. We will be hearing from one of the Jichaels Academy players, just get a bit of their thoughts on how it felt to book their tickets to the playoffs. Stick around. We are back, and as promised, we've got an interview coming up with Jichael's Academy very own Vateful, a character that we talked about a lot. I mean, mate, you did some very impressive stuff throughout that entire series. So well done on booking your place in the playoffs. But give me, how did it feel right at the end there, seeing Jichael's Academy win, victory screen right at the last second, knowing you're getting into playoffs?
To be honest, I wasn't really nervous because we already beat Budget Approved. So I just thought this game was going to be an easy game because we beat the best team already.
Ooh, okay.
Well, that's enough said on that matter, I think. Yeah, well, actually, that's a good point then. From what I take it, obviously Budget Approved haven't had their last match, but if they go and win that series, then does that mean that you guys are the only team to beat both dystopian teams?
Yeah, it does.
The dark horses of the dystopian era seems to be upon us. Well, yeah, Vival, as mentioned, in that series, I feel like it was a very hectic best of 5, although obviously a clean sheet for Jichael's Academy. A really good display. You, in particular, I feel like had so many fights which felt like they were lost, and then your name popped up in the kill feed 3 or 4 times, and everything changed. My question primarily is for your composition. Obviously, usually you guys were playing a lot of very fast comps, but is it usually Alpha who takes over in the shot calling industry for you guys? Because I know fights are always so crazy. Who is it usually that does your shot calling, or is it like a mix of everyone in the team?
It's usually we play off Alpha's shot calling, but sometimes it ends up being a mix. They try and make me play a more of a style to mark like enemy flex DPS, but I prefer to go into the more just dive backline and die and try and get trades.
Yeah, I think we definitely saw that
to play the game.
quite. Yeah, we saw that quite a lot. We saw that the matchup between you and Nuke and you and Nick, so at different points. I can very much see you liked the DPS duel. Apparently my backdrop has just started falling apart. I don't know if stream could hear that. But yeah, so you did enjoy that. I mean, how does it feel in those moments where the team is I don't want to say falling apart, but team fights that seem very lost? How does it feel to be the one to make that difference?
I just keep my calm. I know I've got the capabilities to play like that and win these team fights, so I just play like that.
Cool, calm, collected. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it very much.
I think that is probably the best way you can look at it. I think that's a very good mindset, because if you're freaking out and your aim is shakier than literally anything, literally could be a creaky plank or an elderly woman. It literally could be. There's a very big dynamic. I don't know why I used those as an example, but obviously now you guys are booked. Yeah, don't shake. You guys will get it. Don't worry. So now going in, you've booked your place in playoffs. Kind of after these 7 rounds, you have Chimera. You obviously have Budget Approved, who you mentioned you've beat, and then you've got Bliss Marauders. So, out of the 3 teams, and this is either to add a bit more to the pot or stir it a little, is there anyone that you're thinking is your biggest competition, or are you just thinking you could take a lot?
Out of all the teams, definitely Budget Approved still, if I had to say one team. Yeah, we did lose to Marauders and Chimera, but that's because we had bad circumstances during the games. But I'd say it's equal match between all teams here now.
Yeah, well, at the moment, it's looking like you'll either face off against Budget Approved or Bliss Marauders, depending on whether or not you guys end up 3rd or 4th seed, but that's dependent on a different game. But the last question, just before we head on, talk me through, you've got a few new players, if I'm correct in assuming. So you've got a few players that haven't really scrimmed much before. How has it been sort of introducing people into this environment?
To be fair, it was pretty easy because we knew most of the players before and we've played with them before. It was just adapting them to our playstyle and how we play the game.
So do you think that is what contributed to, like you said, you had a bit of a slow start to the season and then you very much picked it up towards the end?
I think it was a more practicing with the team because we're a new team of just friends that we put together just to play together in like a tournament or something. and we're all
Yeah.
already used to each other's playstyles, but it's adapting more to each other and playing around it.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it, playing socially compared to playing competitively. But thank you very much for joining us today. Very well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any like shoutouts or anything quickly you want to give out to your team or even to Unknown
Mm,
or anyone else?
I just want to say I came here to prove that I'm a good player, and I think I've done that, proved enough for myself and my team.
I mean, you definitely have. You definitely
Yeah.
have proved that you are a very good player. So thank you very much for joining us. We will. I'm sure we'll see a lot of you in the playoffs. But yes, so thank you everyone for coming and watching the stream today. It's been an exciting one. It has been a 3-0. We did talk about hopefully seeing something that wasn't a 3-0 early on, Kyo, but Jichael showed they wanted the playoff spot. They were going to take it for themselves. And you did list the teams off there. We're seeing Budget Approved, Bliss Marauders, EMC Chimera, and now Jichael's Academy. The order of them is still to be decided. There's a few games left to play, but it will be those 4. Now, when we go into the playoffs, they will be starting in this next week. The first games we will see will be Seed 1 versus Seed 4, and then Seed 2 versus Seed 3. But it is a double elimination. So that is, if you lose your first game, you drop down to the losers bracket. You then have to play through there. If you lose in the losers bracket, that is when you would get knocked out. So 4 teams, I think it's 7 games or 6 games, but all of them will be streamed here, so long as teams actually play them on the day that I tell them to play them. So please stick around for them. There will be some very, very interesting games in the next few weeks. But I just want to say a few quick thank yous. So this stream, like I said at the start, it wasn't supposed to happen. We originally only had 3 weekends of games planned. A lot of the community reached out and they asked, okay, this is a big deciding game and we really want to see it on stream. So we thought, okay, can we put it together quickly? I've traveled down from the north of England back to where I live in South Wales today, just to make sure I can get on stream for this. And I know there's been some other people that have put a lot aside to be able to get on and make some sacrifices to get on and put this stream together for yourself. So I just want to say a very big thank you. Kiona, thank you for joining me today. But also
I sacrificed my lungs to be here.
Yes. But especially as well, the people from XYBA, I can't thank them enough. The product they've brought to this league has been really impressive. I've been really impressed with their services. So mainly Hippie and Headrammer from that side, and then also Lagaleth and Kira sort of doing a bit of the behind the scenes camera work. But then the thing you see a lot of the graphics. Big shout out to you, Cody, for them. So thank you very much. This is the end of the playoffs. This is the round robin. This is the end of round 7. Thank you to everyone that's watched for the entirety of this series. But now we're getting into the juicy stuff. Now we're getting into the knockouts. Hopefully we'll be seeing some more of you, Kyo, joining us on stream. I know Jay will be kicking about a lot. So definitely make sure you tune in for them. Kyo, how have you found this round robin?
Honestly, being back, obviously, I said before, it's been over a year since I've done commentary. Coming back into this scenario has felt so great. I've had so many people like DM me and say how good. I'm kidding. All I've had is people asking me about my backdrop looking like a certain wallpaper, or like my wallpaper looking like a background on a desktop, and pictures of me in goofy hats. So I would say it's been pretty good. But overall, I've really enjoyed it. I think I've enjoyed this so much that I would love to continue to do commentary even outside of this. Granted, I'm going back to uni starting in 2 days, so my schedule will, I know, big time. So my schedule will be shrinking. So fingers crossed.
I'm sure we'll see you. Watching, I'm sure we'll see you joining us.
My final words, and I think it's only fitting. I will say this, and then that will be my last remarks. And everyone at Jichael's can probably get ready to clip this and have it ready for any edit.
Oh no!
I'm so hammed over Jichael's Academy playing. Chappers rattles the ceiling. Red carves static halos. Merlap turns gravity into soup. And dew slides across my forehead like glass rain. Ichtha. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, Keo. That'll be the end from us today. But yeah, join us for the playoffs. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Have a great rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Join us in, I think, 5 days. The 18th will be the first playoff game, Thursday coming up. So make sure you're on this channel, ready to watch that. We will catch you in a few days. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.